What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jay Rich, and I am back for some props for Sunday's slate of football. On Thursday Night Football, we swept the board with Zaire Franklin's tackles going over 8.5 and Alec Pierce going way over his receiving yards. But today we're going to be targeting some bad defenses, and it's fun sometimes to look at these bad defenses and say, yeah, I think that guy can do that. And so we're starting in New England. We're taking Damien Harris over his rushing yards at 61.5. The best number is on BetMGM. You can also find it on PointsBet, I believe, at 16.5 at minus 125. But the big thing here is that the Detroit Lions are not stopping anybody on the ground or, frankly, through the air. And on top of that, we do have Bailey Zappi manning the quarterback position for the New England Patriots. I think we're going to see a lot of Rhamondre Stevenson, a lot of Damien Harris, and that's the reason why I like Damien Harris to go over. And so for me, I think you're going to see 15 to 20 carries for Damien Harris, a lot of heavy pound the rock type of stuff, kind of like we saw when they played against Buffalo with the wind and all that inclement weather in Buffalo. The weather in New England should be fine, a little bit colder, which again I think does favor the run game, and I don't think they're going to ask Bailey Zappi to do a ton. We'll see how the Lions ultimately fare against that defense, but I believe the Patriots can get it done on defense, which means they should have a positive game script for the run game on offense, keeping Zappi from having to be in tough third down situations. They can continue to move the ball down the field. I think we see a heavy dose of Damien Harris and Rhamondre Stevenson in this one, and that's why I like Damien Harris over 61.5 rushing yards. Now, another point to bring up about Damien Harris is that if you do like the rushing yards, you could also potentially add it with the rush or with the carries, because when he goes over 61.5 rushing yards, he also goes over his carry number, which is 13.5 on the books right now. Again, that number is also the best at BetMGM. So if you like this play, maybe you consider the rushing yards. Maybe you want to pair it with the rushing attempts. I think both are great options in a game that should see a heavy dose of the run from the Patriots. Now, going to another game that should see a heavy dose of the run from one side, I'm taking James Robinson over 61.5 rushing yards. The Houston Texans, surprisingly, are even worse against the run than the Detroit Lions, allowing 175 yards per game on the ground. James Robinson, obviously the primary ball carrier there in Jacksonville. I think they're also going to look to establish it coming back off a bad loss against the Philadelphia Eagles, where they're up 14-0. So we'll see. But again, divisional game should be close. I think it will be tight. I think the Houston Texans can compete in this one, but they do allow a lot of rushing yards on the ground, and I think that does favor James Robinson overall. Now, we'll see how the split between Travis Etienne and James Robinson ultimately plays out, but I just believe that James Robinson can break off big runs. We've seen him do it multiple times this season. We've seen him dominate the touches overall, so I believe he can do it again. Last week was kind of an anomaly in the rain and with the negative game script with them being down. I think this time they get back on track. James Robinson gets rolling, and the Jags can probably skirt their way to an easy W, doing most of the damage on the ground. We'll see. I'm sure Trevor Lawrence will do some things through the air with Christian Kirk and Zay Jones, who should be back today. I think that adds to the potential threat on the ground. It's not like they're just going to run the ball. They do have the ability to pass, and they will definitely show that. But James Robinson being that bell cow workhorse that we believe he can be, at least on the ground, we'll see what he does through the air, because they are getting Travis Etienne more involved. But I think those rushing yards at 61.5 are very safe. Two running backs that no one really likes a ton, but can get it done on the ground and should see the heavy dose of the rushing carries for their respective teams going up against bottom three rushing defenses. That's where I'm making my money today. That's where I'm picking my plays. So as always, make sure to drop me a like and subscribe for future content. And if you tail, give them hell. And if we fail, do not bail. I'll be back for Monday Night Football with more bets and more picks. I'll see you guys later. Let's make some money today. And I'm out. Peace.